I've always felt safe in my own home. I mean, it's my sanctuary, right? That all changed last Tuesday. It was around 2 a.m., and I was dead asleep when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. It was a motion alert from my new security camera. I groaned, thinking it was probably just a raccoon digging through the trash again. I grabbed my phone, squinting at the bright screen. The front camera feed loaded, showing my driveway. It was completely empty. No cars, no people, just a quiet, moonlit pavement. I figured it was just a glitch. Maybe a bug flew past the lens or something. Shrugging it off, I put my phone back down and went right back to sleep. The next morning, while making coffee, I remembered the alert. Curiosity got the better of me, so I opened the app to check the recorded footage from last night, and that's when my stomach just dropped. I found the clip. The timestamp was exactly 1:48 a.m. My front door opened. Slowly, but it opened from the inside. Someone walked out of my house. The camera caught everything in perfect, high-definition clarity. The height, the build, the way they walked, even the jacket they were wearing. It was my favorite one. My blood ran cold because it was me. Or at least someone who looked exactly, frighteningly, like me. My first reaction was to laugh. It was a nervous, shaky laugh. I told myself it had to be a reflection, a weird lens flare, or some kind of bizarre camera distortion. To be. But then, as I watched the clip again, I noticed something that made the situation 100 times worse. I checked the timestamp. 1:48 a.m. At that exact time, I was supposed to be asleep in my bedroom. I frantically switched to the indoor camera feed for my room. And there I was. The footage showed me, sleeping in my bed, completely still, not moving a muscle. But at the same exact moment, the front camera showed me walking out the front door and down the driveway. I felt a chill spread through my entire body, a deep, primal fear I'd never experienced before. I rewound the footage of the figure leaving the house, watching it over and over again, trying to find some detail that would prove it wasn't real. At one point, the figure stopped at the very end of the driveway, just under the streetlight. It turned its head slowly, and it looked directly at the camera. Then, it smiled. It was a wide, unnatural smile that didn't reach its eyes. I didn't recognize that smile. It wasn't mine. That's when the panic truly set in. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely dial. But I called the police. They arrived within an hour. 2 officers. I showed them the footage. They watched it in complete silence, their faces unreadable. Finally, one of the officers spoke. He looked at me, his expression serious, and asked a question that still haunts me to this day. Have you ever sleepwalked before? I shook my head immediately. No, I said, never in my life. The officer nodded slowly, his eyes still on the screen. That's good, he said. I was confused. Why? Why is that good? He looked back at me. Because this doesn't look like sleepwalking. They couldn't explain it. They took a report, but there was no crime, no forced entry. They advised me to lock all my doors and windows, and maybe stay with family for a few days. Who's to be safe? As they were leaving, one of the officers paused at the door. He turned back and said something quietly, almost a whisper. If your camera alerts you again, don't check the footage alone. That night, I was at my brother's house, trying to feel safe in the guest room. Just after midnight, my phone buzzed, another motion alert. This time, from the camera inside my bedroom. My heart stopped. I stared at the notification, my thumb hovering over the app. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't look. Instead, I deleted the app. I moved out 2 weeks later. I couldn't stay in that house another night. The new owners told me they were taking the cameras down. I don't know what, if anything, they ever saw. But sometimes, late at night, I still wonder who or what walked out of my house that night, and why it looked so much like me. Thanks for listening. If you have a creepy story of your own, share it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange tales. Stay safe out there.